It was the beginning of the winter. The days were much shorter. The weather was cold. The trees were stripped of their leaves. In a few days, the snow would fall and would make it all look better and a little happier. Tinky was in a hurry to get home. It was almost dark and she didn't want to be out when the night came. She wasn't the fearful type, just didn't like to be in the darkness alone. A few more steps and she could see the trees in front of her house in the distance. Suddenly, she heard a noise not far from her. She pricked up her ears. It came from behind a bush not far from her. Tinky stopped. The noise came again. It was accompanied by what sounded like a painful moan. So Tinky got closer to the bush and looked carefully behind it. At first it was not clear to her what she was seeing, but as her eyes adjusted to the darkness behind the bush, it was clear that the noise was made by a white dove. The dove was lying on the ground with a spread wing, and her every move seemed to be causing pain. "Hello, are you okay?" asked Tinky. "Oh, hello. I'm not really, not okay," answered the dove with a muffled voice. "My wing, it is broken, and I can't fly back home." "Oh, you poor thing," was Tinky immediately worried. "I can help you. Can you move at all?" "I can't fly, but I can walk if you could help me." "Of course, here, lean on me and I will take you to my house. You can rest there and me and my friends, we will help you." Dari and Ali were at Tinky's house waiting for her. They agreed to meet there for tea and cookies and stories, but when they got there, Tinky was not at home yet. So they decided to wait for their friend inside. But it was already dark outside and there was no sign of Tinky. The two were starting to worry. But just as they were trying to decide where to go first to look for Tinky, the door opened and Tinky walked in with the very tired and hurt dove leaning on her. Without hesitation, Dari and Ali ran to help them. They supported the wounded dove by her wings and led her to the big bean bag in the room and carefully laid her there. The dove was so exhausted from the pain she could not say anything at all, and just fell on the bean bag and closed her eyes. The three friends organized quickly and efficiently. Dari offered to get the doctor, Ali offered to get Mr. Bear here for support, and Tinky went to the kitchen to make some warm tea. When Mr. Wolf arrived, he consulted the patient and concluded that her wing was not broken but badly wounded. So he prescribed the necessary herbs to treat the wounds and also placed a splint to support the wing and prevent it from being moved involuntarily. Also, bed rest for at least 2 weeks. But he will be coming back in a week to check on the patient. In the meantime, let her sleep as much as possible. It will help her recover better. And then he left. A few days later, the dove woke up. At first she didn't know where she was and what had happened. But then she saw her bandaged wing and remembered it all. Tinky saw her waking up and brought her warm soup to help her regain some power back in her body. "I can't thank you enough for helping me," whispered the dove. "You and your kind friends." "Please don't move now too much," said Tinky when she saw that the dove tried to move her wing, but felt it was too painful yet. You will stay here until you are well, and we will make sure you can fly again. You know, the wing was not broken as we thought, and that is really good news. You will be flying in no time." Tinky smiled warmly. Dari and Ali entered the room carrying medicinal herbs recommended by Dr. Wolf for the dove's wing. As they were arranging the herbs on the table, Mr. Bear came in with some fresh baked seed cookies made especially for their guest patient. "So, now that we are all here and you are awake," said Tinky, "we all want to know what happened and how did you get wounded?" "Well," started the dove, "I was flying to my relatives for Hanukkah. They live far from me, and it usually takes me about 5 days to get there. I was trying to get there sooner than 5 days, so I was forcing myself to fly faster and for a longer time of the day. It was evening, and I was already exhausted for the day when I was attacked by a hawk. I could have seen him if I weren't so tired. It was my mistake."
"Oh, no, it was Gilbert," said Mr. Bear. "He was disowned by his cattle, so he did not leave yet, although the winter is already here. He does not care for any of our rules and is just trying to attack anyone anytime."
"I'm so glad you were able to escape him," said Tinky. "Your wing will be just fine in a short time." Excuse me," said Dari. "Can I ask you a question?" "Of course you can. I will gladly answer you. After all, you all helped me," said the dove, smiling at Dari. "You said you were flying to see your relatives for Hanukkah. I wanted to ask you, what is that? I don't think I heard of that until now." "Oh, Hanukkah. Hanukkah is our special tradition, something like Christmas for you, but a little different, with a different meaning. It is the Festival of Lights."
"Festival of Lights?" asked Dari. They all looked curious and intrigued.
"Yes, the Festival of Lights, because we light special candies during 8 nights, but we also have parties and play during the day. We exchange gifts and have fun with the family, just like you do for Christmas."
"But why light candles for 8 nights in a row?" asked Ali, confused.
"Well, the light symbolizes a miracle. You see, a really, really long time ago, there was a cruel ruler of the Greek kingdom who imposed pagan beliefs on Jewish people and set up statues of his idols and forced everybody just to follow his rules and beliefs. But there was a small Semitic group that refused to change their beliefs, and they fought the Greek army and eventually won, not without great sacrifice. They were very happy and reclaimed one of their old temples and cleansed it for rededication. To their great sorrow and disappointment, they discovered that only one jug of oil, blessed and sealed by their high priest, remained to light the lamp. They realized that this was only enough oil to keep it lit for 1 night. To their amazement, that one pure jug burned for 8 nights until more containers of sacred oil arrived. "It's a miracle," the Jewish people shouted as they danced. So, further on, the Hanukkah celebration grew out of their excitement about this wonderment. And each year it reassures them that strength, tenacity, and hope will always prevail. "This is so interesting," said Ali. "Will you show us how to celebrate it?" "It seems like I will not be able to get to my relatives in time for the celebration, so I might just show you, considering you helped me so much." Hanukkah was 3 days away, so the dove instructed Tinky and her friends what preparations to make. They all were curious and eager to learn something new, so they were all helping. This made the Hanukkah celebration that year very special for the dove. Her new friends managed even to make a menorah. That was a special candle holder with 9 arms. 8 marked the 8 miraculous nights, and the last one was to light the other 8. And they kept the candles lighting for 8 nights in a row. They exchanged gifts and had parties during which they played special games. They sang and ate mostly fried food, all to honor the miracle of light. After all the 8 nights passed, the dove was healed. "This is the Hanukkah miracle," said the dove, "and also the miracle of your light kindness. Thank you again, my friends. I will come visit you in the spring. Goodbye, dear friends," said the dove as she rose in flight. On the first day of spring, when Tinky and every one of her friends opened the door to go out in the forest, a green olive branch was waiting on the doorstep for each of them.